be starting in 1 or 2 more minutes. Bear with us, just giving an opportunity for everyone to join, but welcome and thank you for joining on time. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. So welcome to the Helix webinar series. Today's session is on use cases for to-dos in digital workplace. Today is going to be hosted by Carl-Anders Volk, our lead product manager for DWP, and joining him will also be Debajani Paul, our lead product manager that's also working with him in the same product area. So if I can hand over to Kath if you want to get started, and we will be recording and sharing this session. So over to you, Kath, if you want to unmute yourself.
Sure. Hey, everybody. Good to be on the air again. Today, I'm really happy to have Debajani with me. We have been working together for some years by now, and we have become very good friends and very good colleagues. So, Debajani, do you want to introduce yourself so everybody can hear your voice? And
hey, hello, everyone. This is Debajani, and thanks, Kath, for starting it on a very nice, positive note. Indeed, we have been working very closely and providing some of the solutions that pans across the Helix solution and Helix platform rather. And today we are going to talk about one such areas, which is the to-dos or the end user tasks. I am the lead product manager on the line of business solution side, which particularly looks into HR service management, facilities, and other specific line of business service management solutions. Thanks, Carl. Over to you.
Great. So let's move on to the objectives of this webinar is to tell you about the to-do functionality. It's available in BMC Helix. And I would say this is very much a Helix product. It's not DWP only, it's not BWF only. It is a Helix product. It's across the product portfolio, and it's also content that needs to drive this one, which Debajani is a specialist on working. And because of that, she's going to talk about some of the use cases where we use these to-dos. And I would say the design has been driven much by the use cases that Debajani has been researching on together with many HR teams across the globe, right? And
yeah.
I mean, we have this single platform that we converged everything into a couple of years back, and that has helped us a lot to build this. And also the collaboration between different teams is important. So we get a lot of value out of this nowadays. The whole idea with the to-dos is to enable collaboration between people. If you need to perform a little bigger task that involves multiple people, that's where the to-dos come in good handy. And at the end of this, I think you have got inspired to use this in your own environments. And I really, like always, want to encourage you to share this. Write about it on communities. Write a little note on communities. Share it with each other. Exchange the experiences you've had. And if you have ideas on improvements, let us know. Add ideas on communities for that. The agenda is a little bit of introduction to BMC, what we're doing, an overview of the use cases, and then Debajani will actually demo how it works in reality. And we'll talk a little bit about the benefits to sum up. And also, again, I encourage you to share your ideas. At the end, Q&A. And if you have questions, you can post them in our chat window, in the questions and answers window of Zoom. And we have a panel of people that can respond, and Debajani and I will respond if needed as well. So if we look at BMC's strategy now, we have four very important pillars, and I personally represent what we call the employee experience part, which is very much focused on digital workplace and the employees. And our strategy is to support an workforce that is really distributed, that is hybrid, that is working from home or working from the office. So tools to enable that. We also have this traditional monitoring and ITSM parts. We're not going to talk about that at all today, I would say. So the other part is what Bjarne is working on, which is content. Do you want to mention something about that?
Yeah, sure. So as Kath just hinted on the topic, so our focus or strategic pillars, one of them is definitely the enterprise service management, and especially not only giving you the vanilla product, but also give solutions out of the box so that it ensures easy adaptation of all the nice features that we get it out release by release. And HR is definitely a focused area when I talk about line of businesses, of course, along with IT, facilities, and security handling, and other line of businesses which are coming up as well. And most of this content, some of which I will be covering as part of the demo today, those are productized. So nothing that I have made especially for this demo session. And all of these solutions, we are actually partnering with our existing customers, with our workforce on the fields, our sales teams, and of course, the experts in the specified domain. Like when I talk about HR, we definitely go to the people who are experts in that domain so that we come up with a very collaborative way, come up with some solution that adds value to our customers. Yes, Carl, over to you.
That is not just HR in BMC, it's HR among
Everywhere.
our customers.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody which has connected us to your HR department or finance department or whatever. So that's a very good thing. Most of you might be aware of Digital Workplace and what we do with it, but the core is this portal where you can build nice tailored pages for different personas in the company or different lines of businesses that can tailor things using the studio. We also have other things that you need as an employee where you can see how things work in the environment. If you have email down or VPN down and so on, we have all these possibilities to share that with the end users. Traditionally, we have had monitoring tools and you get alerts in the monitoring side, but it's pretty good to have alerts coming to the end users, because if you know that the VPN is down, you will not raise a support ticket, and that, of course, helps them to save time, both for the service desk themselves that don't need that many calls, and also for people. I can just do something else until VPN is back. Another thing that has come up quite a lot since the pandemic is the location and floor maps. People want to be able to book offices, to go to the office now and then, not have a separate place. Collaboration peer support is what we talk about today. The Helix virtual agent and the channels, the different teams, Slack, text messages, WhatsApp, and so on. The ability to communicate with each other using your mobile. I mean, everybody's got their mobile in the hand nowadays. And not the least, our knowledge management database is where you can collect and share information. These two areas are really very highly interesting right now, with all the generative AI capabilities being available, and we have very strong focus and research activities going on here. So these two, you will see some nice new features coming up during not too far away. We have done a number of proof of concepts already, so we'll share that when it's time exactly what you're going to see. This is the Bjarne's area then.
Yeah, so in short, this is talking about our strategies and how we are looking at and what we are looking at when we talk about the enterprise service management. By now, I know that these terms or these phrases are very common to understand that we do not only focus or talk about the IT services management, which has definitely been the forerunner into this service management industry, but we definitely want to expand the scope, because digitization and digital transformation has been the thing, right, for most of the customers. So we are focusing towards specific departments or line of business, as we call it, like HR services management, portfolio management, network management, workplace service management, and so on and so forth. So all these little circles that actually represent one of the line of businesses, which are all encompassed as our enterprise service management. And today in my demo use cases, at least I'll be just focusing on the HR.
This part up here, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So while we are here, and I am the product manager for DWP, I want to market that as well a little bit, of course. So for us, the focus is employee experience and employee productivity and engagement in a hybrid world. And it's a little bit more extended here. It should also be nice and pleasant. As you know, Studio is kind of my favorite part of the product right now. But during the 22.1 releases, we have added a lot of new features. The 22.10 that came out in July last year had about 14 new features, and 61% of them were based on community ideas. 25 community ideas could be marked as delivered. So we are listening, we are picking up things, we deliver new features. We then had 22.102, 04. Each of those patches had 10 new features together. And now the latest we have released is 22.105 a couple of months back. And in total for these 22.1 releases, we have delivered 38 new features that you as the admin and end user can give to your end users. It's quite an extensive number of new functionality, so it's really worth upgrading. I think most of you are at 21.3 or eventually even before that. And even if that was a pretty big upgrade to go to 21.3, the 22.1 upgrades do not require a replacement of the infrastructure. You can do it in place, and it's much smoother for those customers that have upgraded already. I have spoken to a few customers that are already on 22.105, and they said it's completely different experience. So I really encourage you to talk to your customer service specialist and plan for an upgrade so you can get these new functionality. So now we'll focus on the to-do items. The idea is that you as an end user of DWP will get action items from someone, your manager, colleague, or your HR department. It could be anyone that is asking you to do things, and you will see them in your My Activity feed, or you can create a studio page like this where you add them, and you can look at them, and you can, when done, mark them as completed. This little one is when you drag one of the event blocks to a studio page, you select what type of events you want to see. So this is a specific page that Debiani has developed for to-dos. You see, it's just to-dos. So you will only see to-dos, and you know, these are things I have to do. We'll talk more about the benefits of it, but it's a collaboration between you and the person that has created these to-do items. Do you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so so I will come to the gist of it. What is this feature about? So to-dos, or in other words, we call it the end user tasks. So far, if you are familiar with the business workflows as a product, which is our line of business service management solution, we already had tasks that could be assigned to any of the support agents internally, right, to fulfill a request. So basically, an employee comes to digital workplace portal, they raise a request. For example, I need an employment verification letter. That creates a case in business workflows for the backend teams to fulfill. And there are certain tasks that that particular agent will be carrying out. Now, we have an ability that you can create and assign tasks to the end user, in this case, the requester, the employee. So to-dos let you perform some of the actions, such as, as an employee, I may want to share some documents. I need to take a training. So I will be getting the training link, or I need to watch a video as part of fulfillment of a request. So all such communications, which was happening so far over emails, now those will be assigned as a task to me. And that is what we are calling as to-dos. Some of the main benefits of these are, of course, it is much more well managed. It is now part of the workflow that you as a business analyst will be designing. So less usage of ad hoc tasks, I will say, and more it is under control of exactly how you want the workflow to act on. And secondly, you can also audit that, if you are as an agent waiting for some of the tasks from the end user to happen on time, until now, you were actually waiting for an email to come and update, and you will be doing continuous manual processes of sending notifications. Hey, I'm still waiting for your answer and things like that. But now everything can be automated, because you can send notifications as part of the to-dos with a specific due date. You can even design the notifications when and how many times you want to send, depending on the due date, or it is already overdue. But also, if as a support agent, I feel that as part of fulfillment of a request, I need an extra document, or I need some input from the employee, I can also create an ad hoc to-dos for that person and assign it to them. So these are some of the major reasons why we are going towards the end user task, and I can show some of it later in the demo. So Kath, if we can go to the next screen, probably I can explain, how the different pieces as they sit together into our mutual products. So as if you see this or read this screen from the left hand side, where the end user or the employee of the organizations will be going to the DWP portal, and they probably will be raising a catalog request. Now, as part of the catalog request, if you have certain to-dos or end user tasks, then those will get initiated from the business workflow side. So you design the to-dos at the business workflow side, and then those will be available to see and act upon on the DWP. Now, on the third column, we mentioned about how an agent can add more to-dos if the need be. So those we are calling ad hoc to-dos. And they can also see the responses that they get of the tasks, if the task is completed, if the end user has a question, so they can also use the comment section of the to-do to communicate back and forth with the support agents. Now, on the fourth pillar, it says that the initial requester can track the progress, track the progress of the to-dos, and they can even see all the notifications on the DWP site. And last but not the least, on the fifth column, it shows that the to-dos, when they show up on DWP, you can manage all the notifications, even do the follow-up questions, which I just mentioned. So this is how we have designed that it will be created on business workflows as part of a request fulfillment template, but then it has its impression on both DWP and business workflows. Should we go to the next slide, Gav?
Yeah. I'm trying to respond to questions at the same time.
Oh, sure. Thank you. So today I will be showing the to-dos in context of onboarding solution. Now, I got a question in the chat that why I'm focusing around IT or HR and not line of business. So let me emphasis on the point that this particular feature, which is to-dos or end-user tasks, it is available for all line of business. So business workflows, as you know, the line of business service management solution can be used for any of your departments, be it HR or facilities or finance or legal and so on and so forth. So this is a core feature of DWP and business workflows. So anyone using these two channels together, they should be able to utilize this feature. But today, for the sake of this demo, I have chosen the HRSM use case, mainly because I wanted to market this amazing solution that we have created in-house. And this is now available from 22.1.05 onwards. This is a complete end-to-end onboarding solution, which comes up with the onboarding workflows, the associated case templates, the tasks, the approvals, the notifications, and the front end, which is a new hire portal, which is visible on DWP. And I will be showing some of these as part of the demo. So this, as you can see, is a very high level blueprint, I will say, of the Uber onboarding process that we are shipping out of the box. Now, this onboarding starts from the pre-boarding phase. Now, what is a pre-boarding phase? We all know that any candidate, when they are selected to join a company, there is a time of around a few months or few weeks before they actually join the company. So that period is termed as pre-boarding in our solution. And interestingly, most of the interactions with the candidate and the organization in order to get the required documents, the forms to be filled up, the contracts to be signed, everything happens in that pre-boarding phase. So as part of the solution, we are leveraging this to-dos feature, which is the new feature in the same release. We are assigning to-dos to those candidates who are the new hires yet to join the company, and we are giving them access to a new hire portal. And this portal is built using the DWP Studio, which is, I think, both Carl's and mine favorite topic, because really you can create amazing end user facing portals. And so we are doing some of that, giving some of the hints or clues to our customers that, hey, you can do this as well. And this whole solution is extremely reconfigurable or customizable. So nothing that you have to use it. You can use it in parts or in full, or you can change it completely. So I will be showing you how to expose to-dos on the pre-boarding phase using external DWP Studio pages. Then there are also to-dos that happens when this person actually joins the company, which is the day one block, as you can see in the middle, the blue part, day one, when the new hire has become a full-time employee. You still need to go through certain tasks, right? You still need your IT equipments from the IT team, for example. You still need to go on to the orientation program, which is managed by the HR team, and so on and so forth. So this is how I think today's, why this slide was important, because this is how the today's demo will be going on. Majorly, there will be three personas. One is the new hire persona, which we call Michael. One will be the backend HR support agent, Hannah. And in between, there will be the hiring manager who gets to communicate and see some of the glimpses of how this whole process is going on. So should I check if there is any question, Kaf, or you think we are good to go to the next phase?
I'm working on responding together with John and the other guys here, so we'll respond. Just continue to the demo, and I will respond while you work on this.
Sure. I believe then we do not have any more slides here, and I can directly share my screen for the demo.
Yes, please do.
Okay. Let me take over. So let me know when you can see my screen.
Yeah, it's there. We can see it.
Oh, great. Thank you. So this is the new hire portal that I was hinting at. So this has been developed entirely using the DWP Studio page. It, as you can see, it kind of gives a welcome message to the Michael new hire. And I've just kept the, second name as the role or the person it represents. Otherwise, it's very confusing for me also to, switch between the browsers and the portals. So this new hire person, Michael, gets the link of this external portal. External because this person is still not an employee, so they should not have access to your regular digital workplace. So here we are leveraging the digital workplace external portal feature. And the to-dos are also available for such users. So it is not that you can only assign it to an existing employee, but you can also assign it to an external user who has been self-registered in this portal. So here in the middle, you can see a band of to-dos. In this case, we have supported two different kind of views. One is this cards layout, and the other one is a simple table layout. I prefer this one a little more, so I'll just keep it at that. Now, there are certain things like you definitely can mark a to-do complete directly from this card by clicking on this. Otherwise, you can also go into the details of the to-dos, and there are certain steps, what is expected out of this. For example, in this case, it wants you to upload a photograph of yours. You can also add comments. Probably I'll just say, hey, what type of photo you need. And I will show you in a short while that how these comments also gets visible to the backend agent so that they can respond to the questions and queries of the user right on the context of the to-do. And so while you can, upload the photographs here, you can even have links or videos to be watched, training links to be taken on, and so on and so forth. So this area completely allows you to have a rich text kind of a feeling. So right now in here, in my example, I do not have a link, but that doesn't mean it is only supporting the regular text. So in this case, I will just mark it completed and show you how the status get carried on to the second phase. Now I will change my browser and I will log into the business workflows. So right now I have logged into business workflows in a sample human resource line of business as Hannah. Now, as you can see that this onboarding request of Michael is right there. Let me click on it and show you how the interactions are shown on the agent side. Now, on this case, there is a list of tasks depending on, at which stage of the onboarding this person is. So for example, it shows all these to-dos are already in assigned state. It says whom it is assigned to. Then there are more tasks for the internal teams like IT, set up the email IDs and, procure the hardware, for HR, for the manager, for the legal team, and so on and so forth. So all such tasks that you can see here and the logic or the business process that kind of binds them together all come as part of the out-of-the-box solution, which you can tailor as per your need. In this case, let me just show you how the to-dos look like. So if you see on the right-hand side under the activity logs, it says that Michael has just typed in a comment, added a comment as part of this particular task. What type of photo do you need? And similarly, Hannah can answer to this note and make it public, say, face focused will do. And this should be visible and accessible to the person on the front end. So this is one interaction. And of course, this person, the agent, can also see the completed task. So let me see, show you that part as well. So as you can see, this upload photograph for onboarding related activities, this has been completed by this person. So this data is also visible to an agent. Now, if I go back in here and let me do that. And at the same time, let me also open how the hiring manager sees the same interaction on his view or her view. Okay, I think this is, yeah. So right now here in this digital workplace instance, I have logged in as Sharon, who is the hiring manager in this case. So we see this onboarding portal. This is not available for Michael's profile because it's an entitlement driven. Only the one who is a hiring manager or of similar roles should have access to. Now, this onboarding portal or hiring manager portal is focused at enabling the managers to see an end-to-end view of the different people who are onboarding in their team, right? So far, all this was happening over emails, and managers complain many times that, hey, we get hundreds of emails if there are 10 or 12 people are joining, even if there are 4 or 5 people are joining at the same time, or within a period of 1 month or 2 months. So in this case, they can come to this portal, they can see the different stages of the onboarding requests. And in this case, we are interested in Michael. So let me just click on it and see how this particular request is progressing. So Sharon can definitely look at the different buckets. As you can see, the pre-boarding tasks, the joining the task, first week and first month, and so on. She can also see that if some of the to-dos or tasks have been completed or not. If she wants, she can even, order for some additional hardware, which is a regular task of a manager from here by selecting some of the other assets which has been, given by the IT. So all this data then gets captured back to the relevant team and catered from within the same request. So I'll just say no in this case. Let me just come out of it. Yeah. So I wanted to show you these interactions. Why? Because just to ensure that to-dos lets the different actors, in this case, the front end, the back end, and the middle person, the managers in this case, they all come together, collaborate as part of a single task. That is possible. And so if there are any specific question, Kav, that you want me to answer to, or should I go into some other details?
There was one which I had hoped we could see on the screen, but there was a question about, can we show dynamic data? That is the starting date, for example, of an employee on the new hire portal or the candidate portal, whatever you call it. And my answer was yes, you can use what is called a record grid, which means you can show data that is stored in Innovation Studio. I don't think you have such a page available right now. Do you have that?
No, unfortunately, I do not have that in this particular instance.
Okay.
But if you remember, Carl, we had that band in here where we were actually showing not only the joining date, but also the joining location, the hiring manager, his email ID, and all such details on this page. That is very much possible.
Yeah, and the body, I think, also, if you have
and the body as well. Yeah. Yes.
And if it changes during the time before you start, during the pre-boarding phase, it can be updated in that record behind the scene, and it will show on the screen. So that's how it works.
Right. And that is a very core DWP Studio feature, if I'm right?
Yeah.
So let me also probably show quickly.
It's a 22 feature. So upgrade to 22 and you get it.
Right. So I will quickly show, how you can add an ad hoc task, because I mentioned that as part of the slides. So let me just raise a request with Sharon, the requester. I'll just straight away go to a create case without selecting any templates for the sake of time. So I will go to this case and it's assigned to myself, make it in progress. Because I'm just assuming that I, as an agent, select and assign it says, okay, I have assigned, I guess. Yeah. Now it's in progress. Now, in this case, just assume that Sharon has asked for a change of address. And as part of the request, while Hannah is resolving it, Hannah also wants to create an ad hoc task, because right now there is no task, but she wants to assign a to-do to Sharon, telling that, hey, you may also need to know how to change the address in your insurance policy. So in that case, I will just select voluntary suppression. I think I had a to-do template, so I can select the template from here. Okay, it says, okay, I'm not able to find that out right now. So what I'll do is that I'll probably just use one of these existing ones, because I cannot find out the specific one that I was looking for. I'll just change the line of business in case it is there quickly. No, I think I'll just stick to any of the existing one rather. So I'll just check this, upload photograph. Just assume this is not really uploading photograph, but some other to-dos. It doesn't matter. I just want to show you how you can probably add it as an ad hoc request. So I select Sharon as the requester. Yeah.
May I interrupt you a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
There is a question right now asking about what you're doing now. So they said we are only talking about tasks, and maybe you can open up one of the to-dos and show that there is a specific setting that is called setting it to a to-do. It's a task that is a to-do. I don't know if you have one that you can show.
Definitely, I can show that. So to-dos is, as I mentioned at the beginning, to-dos is nothing but a task which is targeted to the end user. So like currently I'm in the task templates, and probably these will, make it easier. So we had so far manual, automated, and external tasks. Now we have different task type called to-dos. So if I click on that, in here, it asks me, the template name and type. So it is everything very similar to task, but the type of the task is now to-dos. So that is the only difference.
Great. And then you assign it to, now you can assign it not just to agents, but you can assign it to
end users, right? Like in this case, like in this case, as you saw that while I selected the to-do template, it actually opened up the whole, employee base for me. But if it was just an internal task, I could have only assigned to an agent. But in this case, I could search Sharon, who is the requester of this case, and assign it to her. And once it is assigned, if I go back to Sharon's DWP view, under my activity, I should be able to see that coming up here. Yeah, so as you can see, this is coming up here.
Good. I hope that explains the question. I think it's good.
So Gav, that's pretty much from my side that I had to show, how you can add it as an ad hoc task, how you can add it as part of a predefined flow, for example, our onboarding solution. So should we continue to the next slides? I think you had
let's
couple
do
of more.
that. We had a couple more before we get to the Q&A. So I think this one is about the value of this, and I think my use case in this case was, as a manager, you have maybe 10, 15 employees that you talk to, and one day you want to give them a training. It could be the same training that everybody should have. And then if you have a case template and you raise that, it will be automatically assigned to all of your employees. And if it's you want to give a special person a specific training, you can do that. So instead of sending emails checking who has been taking the trainings and manually collect those emails and check with people. You can now assign a to-do to these people, and you can easily track. You could create a dashboard to show who has done it and not done it. I think that is a big value in terms of tracking and following up, and saving you a lot of time as manager, and you as an employee might also feel good because you can tell when you have done the things. I mean, as a manager, you give tasks to your employees and you expect them to do what you ask them to. Sometimes you want to track it and really get a confirmation from the employee that they've done it. So that is one of the things I think is most valuable with this. I guess you have some case as well that you.
Yeah, and there are a few of the use cases, and that I actually got from our design partners. And I know many of them have also signed up for this session. So thanks a lot, because you have worked very closely with us to create this feature. So some of our design partners, our customers, mentioned that HR in particular want to, assign tasks. For example, if there is a change in the policy. So recently there was a policy change in BMC India, and they had to send these bulk emails to every employee to accept that policy, right? Now, these are those typical use cases that the HR organization wants to really track, that how many of the employees have really accepted it. If there are any pending, they want to send notifications, and this is a task for them. This is an action item for the employees. So these are some of the great use cases, I think practical use cases of the to-dos, wherein the HR team now, instead of sending a bulk email, they should be able to create a HR support case and to-dos for all of their employees within certain brackets and qualification. And that way they can also pull out some report after a few days and see, what's the results, how many are still pending, who have already completed, and things like that. And another important point here.
Just a question on that. How many people are you about in India? I guess we are like several thousand in India.
Oh yeah,
or
2,000
BMC.
plus. Yeah, 2,000
and,
plus.
and
that's what I knew last.
You can, just think of HR sending out those emails. How do they actually track if people have looked at them or not?
Yeah.
How
That is definitely difficult. That is definitely a difficult task for them to really, they have some mechanisms, but again, it requires a lot of manual effort from their side. So this will definitely give them, once you have created this case and the to-dos are assigned to all these 2,000 plus employees. So it's just about refreshing the report, the dashboard, and seeing what's the outcome of that task is. So definitely that saves them a lot of manual hours. And secondly, again, it came from BMC HR's, I think HR operations team, that when there are certain use cases which goes on for a pretty long period of time, for example, parental leave, paternity or maternity, a maternity process in India, at least it goes on for 6 months, right? And there are a lot of paperwork that is required, and not every maternity use case is similar. So they may need to have some exceptions. They need to collect a lot of documents and forms from these would-be moms and parents. So all this now is becoming easier for them to design, because this was happening so far on emails. They had to maintain these folders on Windows to make sure that they have all the data. But now, as part of the to-dos, all the documents, say the medical certificates and everything that I'm uploading as part of a to-do for my maternity leave, those gets associated to the case, to the maternity case. So it's just one-stop solution for them. They go to log into the business workflows, the support team, they see the case and they see all the details. So that, and if they want something more, they can always create an ad hoc to do for that candidate. So that's definitely adding value, I see.
Great. Okay. Any more? No? Okay. That's fine. I was also thinking about this when you come as a new employee, at least in the old days, but to a certain extent still now, you get an office and you sit in an office. And how does that really work? You need a lot of people to do things, to make sure your workplace is ready when you get there. You need people to take a table, a chair, you need the laptop, the screen, the cables, a lot of stuff, access cards, all that stuff. That is part of your onboarding process, you think?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So we, as I said, that this onboarding solution is definitely pulling together all these interdepartment interactions under one roof. So as part of that onboarding process, we are creating tasks and to-dos for the teams like facilities, the workplace management team, as we call them.
Yeah.
Then the legal team, even the security teams who will be responsible for creating your security badge and stuff like that. And these tasks in both ways, for the task for the end users as well as for the backend agents. This is definitely solving the purpose. They know what to do, for whom, by when. And as an onboarding manager, especially on the on the HR operations side, they have the full view that how the different tasks are going on for different departments.
And I guess, I mean, IT people might have access to BWF or to ITSM, but I guess facilities people don't normally have access to BWF or ITSM or anything. So they have the mobile,
Right.
and that's where DWP comes in, and you can use the to-dos to assign things to these people that don't really have more than DWP
Exactly.
available. So that's
Exactly.
employee
And that
experience
was
also
one
for
of
those
the,
people.
So that was one of the driving factor that, they really wanted to assign to the actual people who are executing the task. For example, your AC is not working. So that, that person who goes to that particular location, and you can actually, just share all those details as part of the to-dos, right? Because we know we support all the links, videos and all these things. So they can actually go to that particular location and start working on it. And because, Carl, we also have the to-dos being assigned to the external users. So many times, if there are tasks that to be performed by your vendors, who are by nature external personas, so those also now becoming more streamlined for the orgs.
Yeah, and when you talk about external vendors, they might not have an account in the company, but if they have access to the external portal of DWP, they can log in using a private email address or their own email address if they have registered first, of course.
Exactly.
So the external portal let non-employees register and get access to these to-dos as well. So really,
and that's exactly what I leverage in the new hire portal that I showed, because they are still not the employees, so they should not have connection to your all policy data and everything. They should have only limited set of services and knowledge articles floated to them, which is, I mean, very nicely, I think, managed by the entitlement. So that we are leveraging. And as we speak, we are developing the Alumni Service Center using the same DWP's external portal. We are creating a very smart and cool looking Alumni Service Center using your studio page again. And we are floating in services which alumni generally they ask for, and other FAQs and career links and all other things that might be needed for an alumnus, so that they can log in to that external portal and request for all these services. And they do not have to go by the route of creating a request via email anymore.
Good. I look forward to that. It's not too far away for me,
Yeah, same here.
No, I think I'm much closer to alumni than you
okay,
are.
in that way. Oh, no.
Okay, I think we are ready with what we wanted to share with you today. Now, back to you, everybody out there. Get upgraded, get 22105, start using it, and start using these to-dos. Share ideas with us on communities if you feel it can be improved. And I'm sure Debiani and I have spent a lot of time arguing, not always at the same direction, but we have a good relationship. And what we have built here is a starting point. So help us to make it better by sharing your ideas on communities. That's my wish from you as a give back. Thank you very much. If there are questions, let's open up for questions,
So,
Samantha.
Yes, we've got 10 minutes left before we finish the session for today. So there's 3 questions in the Q&A. I think some of them are being answered by the team, but the first one we've got is from Javier Santos about, are there any way to sign a task with the certificate? So that's the first question. I don't know if yourself or Debajani or Hugh or someone from our team can answer that question. And I've unmuted everyone or given them the ability to also talk and raise their hand as well for questions for the last 10 minutes. But yeah, that's the first question.
I am not 100% sure what the ask is, but I think, Debjani, you have a couple of use cases where, let's say, the candidate is sent the actual contract by the hiring manager. The hiring manager, and here is your contract you want to sign. And if that is the case, we have an integration in BWF with a couple of different electronic signature companies. I don't know if that is the question, Santos. Is that what you?
So Javier, do you want to unmute yourself? I have tried to request you to do that. Do you want to speak live? If not, is that the question that's answered? And if not, do you want to put a note into the question? I believe you're still online. I can see him in the chat. So Javier, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm not sure. But then again, as Kath mentioned, one side of the things, we definitely have integration with Adobe eSign. But at the same time, if the intention of the question is to say that as part of it to do, can I give the facility to sign or, sign a contract, for example, or sign an NDA document as part of it to do. So yeah, that's definitely in our roadmap that we are looking at.
Okay, I think he may have dropped, but we'll get that question qualified. Then the next one from Simon is to-dos a DWP version of tasks updated and streamlined, as well as allowing action by non-tech users? Simon, I don't know if you want to also speak live. You've got the ability to, if you're still on here. I think I can see you. Hello. Hello, can you hear us okay? Hello.
Yeah. Yes, just really looking at the functionality of it and the way tasks can be used in workflow for work orders and such like. Is this a similar sort of thing? Does it enhance that functionality, or is it completely different? Am I missing something that it does?
In work orders and in HRSM, we have tasks, so it is similar, but the tasks in HRSM and in business workflows are per design for the back-end people, the fulfillment teams. So you normally assign work order tasks to people that work to fulfill requests. It is a little bit, what should I call it? The user interface is very targeted for these people in HRSM or smart IT, and the same goes for business workflows. It's people that work in the product daily. They can easily look up a task and perform it. The idea with these to-dos is that you might just look at your mobile phone and you see, oh, there is a task for me, and you can see it easily on the mobile phone or on your web page in DWP that I have a task to complete. We call them to-do to distinguish them between agent activities and end user activities, and people that fulfill requests versus people that don't use those fulfillment products every day. Does that answer your question?
Simon?
Sorry, yes, it does. And it's just, yeah, I was being very positive about it because it looks very good. I can see lots of uses for it, and it's just understanding.
Yeah, great. Let us know. Let us know when you've done something so we can hear what you have, what value you get from it, and if we need to do something more with it.
Need to get to 2105 and then 22105, sorry, and then actually get the licensing for it. So hopefully not too long.
Hopefully. Great, thank you.
Fantastic. And while we've got you unmuted or asking questions, is there anything else that you'd like to ask live?
The only other thing is, with HR systems, obviously integration with them. I know we've got Jitterbit and iPass and that type of thing, and I know it does integrate with workforce. I mean, we're looking at other options of HR systems, and is that something that is seen as relatively straightforward, that the hiring process goes through and then hands off to business workflows to do the onboarding?
Yeah, Carl, I can take that question. So yeah, the out-of-the-box onboarding solution that I shared today, it has much more facets, which I couldn't cover because that was not the focus. But we do have an API, a REST API, which we ship out of the box. And that is pretty much allows you to connect to any backend third-party systems, be it your HCM tool like Workday or some other HCM tool, or your recruitment tool, from where we expect the onboarding process to be triggered. In fact, I think that is the more, I think the familiar way or more frequent way of triggering an onboarding request, that it will be triggered from the HCM tool or the recruitment tool. So we have the API entry point.
Thank you.
And we have tested the integration with already a few systems already, have we?
Yeah.
So
and as I said, this is a generic REST API, so it is not really limited to if you have only Jitterbit or iPass. It may work even without that, because we understand that that third-party system from where you want to trigger the onboarding request might be anything.
Okay, good. I see Ken has got a question. Do you want to unmute him, Samantha?
Yeah. He's unmuted if he wants to talk. Hello, Ken. As always, there's always a question from Ken. Hello.
Yeah, it's always me. Sorry. The to-dos that you put on. So during the demo, Debjani, you had the upload photo to-do item as the end user, and you completed that without actually uploading a photo.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way to enforce that they actually do what the task is supposed to do?
Yeah, so right now we have that, that mark as complete or submit, which actually completes that to do. So we are not enforcing right now, but that is something that we are working, as we speak. That is coming in our very next, I think next to next release, right, Gav? Wherein we have some of those enforcements in place, where you can specifically say that, this is mandatory. Without this, you can't even go and submit it.
Cool.
But I used to say to Debjani when she's asking for this feature, because she wanted it from day one, and we had to take it step by step. But I tell her, if I was a candidate, I would definitely upload the things I'm asked to be uploaded.
Yeah, that was his reasoning while we were fighting for it and negotiating my way.
Yeah. So that was how we prioritized. I don't know if you think the same, but that's what I think.
They should. I agree, they should. But people make mistakes and press the wrong buttons, and it might be a really, really low res image, which is of no use. It's the reasons why it's wrong.
Absolutely.
Then they get the new. Then they get the new one, to do to upload.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the other thing about, since you mentioned that, and that's a great observation, I'll say, the other point that I wanted to make, and this is for everyone, is that to-dos as a feature would have been just another feature. Like Kath said, there were 38 in the last few months, right? Last few releases. But since I was the customer zero here, because I was using it in the onboarding solution, so a lot of it were focused around the actual usability of the feature. But let's honestly agree that not always we can deliver whatever we want to within the stipulated timeline of one release. So this is definitely a focus area, and release by release we are going to enhance on these to-dos. As I said, not only the onboarding solution, but the upcoming offboarding solution, alumni service center, everything is going to use these to-dos internally as part of our productization. So this is definitely a focus area where we want to, add more values around. So your comments and ideas on the communities will be a great help. And if any of you are really interested to, go little deeper into the onboarding solution or something else, please let us know as well.
Yeah, I think you will set up another seminar about that specific process and the solution itself. So please look out for that and join when we have that next.
Yeah.
It will be on my webinar schedule. I mean, I'm conscious that obviously we've come to a wrap with this time, but after today, this recorded session will be condensed down and put onto YouTube and also shared with the team that have joined today. We'll also be sending out a survey and any slides that you're able to share. So when we do have updates on the webinar series, anything that Debjani or Kath or any of the team members do, including the product and the technical team, they'll all be advertised on the webinar page, and I'll be sending that out to all of the registrations from today. So hopefully everyone's found that useful, and there's going to definitely be some more sessions. And if any of you have got any interest in something particular, if it's definitely a problem statement a lot of customers are seeing or challenges, then we'd be happy to look at addressing those and finding someone else that can support those webinar, or maybe it'll be a how-to session or a knowledge article that's created, but we'd love to hear from everyone.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Have a good
Yeah,
time.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.